Welcome back, everyone. I'm Setharoth, and today we are going to celebrate. We have cleared out the last of Act 4, that is by taking out the Goblin Camp and the Goblin Sanctum. We're going to, the next time we go to camp, it will be a big celebration. You have a chance to chat with a bunch of the NPCs and kind of bring Act 4 to a close. So we're going to go ahead and do that and take our time, make sure to talk to everybody, and just get a feel for the place as we bring this to a close. Before we move on to Act 2 region, I will be doing some exploring of this, the darker areas here, just to make sure we didn't miss anything, because I am a greedy little boy, and I want my XP and my loot. But I think that pretty much wraps us up before we go talk to people, because we've done our shopping, we've got our copious number of magical items and scrolls. I think we are just about set to go. So, without further ado, let's celebrate. Okay, I was expecting it to jump straight to the fanfare. Maybe Halzin's around here somewhere. I don't know. I guess we will talk to everyone before we talk to everyone.
Fate spins along as it should.
You are a creepy dude.
Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
Man, he is a good friend to have. Anyway, so hirelings, if you don't know about those, are a nice little feature. If you want to, it's an extra person that you can bring in that doesn't have all the baggage, all of the extra plots and abilities that these characters have. So if you wanted, for example, to experiment with a different party build, or you didn't want to risk getting these guys killed, you could hire hirelings instead. But let's go ahead and start. Well, we'll start with Karlach. Why not? She seems happy.
Hey, soldier.
Let's see. How did you end up with such a contraption in your chest? That's a valid question.
I'll tell you all about it after we've taken down those paladins I'm after. Believe me, it's worth the wait.
That's fair. Sounds like all we need to do to fix your engine is find some infernal iron. We already did that. Maybe we just need to close out the dialogue.
Let's hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints.
Alright, so not only do you have this thing in your chest, but it's burning up. That's a good question.
That's the short of it. Bloody thing's been in overdrive since I left Avernus.
What does that infernal engine do to you?
Gives me energy. Power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close.
She kind of reminds me of Rogue from the X-Men, that, like absorbed life essence from anyone that touched her, and therefore could not be touched. What's that been like?
Agonizing. Gods, what I wouldn't give for a hug. A pat. Anything. You've never met anyone so desperate for a hug as this one right here. Pathetic, perhaps, but true. It's my lot to bear, and I bear it badly. Ah, well. Can't have it all, can you? Not today, at least.
But you're wearing full body armor. Does that not insulate you a bit? I would think. At least a little bit. I don't know. Let's try Shadowheart.
It was bad enough having just one of those tadpoles forced upon us. I can scarcely believe you actually inflicted another on yourself.
That's complicated. Let's see. What do you think of all that's happening for us so far?
All that's happened. You have a talent for understatement, you know that? Specifics, please.
Let's see. How am I holding up in your estimations?
I don't think I've ever had a confidant quite like you. And if I have, I can't remember them.
Alright, she has her mind wiped. That's fun. What do you think about what happened to the Druid Grove?
I suppose some would commend our actions. Goblins would have razed that whole place to nothing if it weren't for us. No excuse to rest on our laurels, though. We've still got our own problems to contend with.
That is fair. Must see. What will you do if we actually manage to remove the tadpoles?
I suppose we'd go our separate ways. Not a slight on your company, of course.
Where would you go?
Home. Baldur's Gate. There's someone waiting for me there. Someone I have to reach. As soon as possible.
Do a good job on the eyes in this game. Seems personal. I won't pry if it's not something you want to talk about.
Thank you. And you're right. It's a delicate matter. Not something for light conversation.
Turn to other matters. I think that these lithid powers we're developing, what do you make of them? That's a good question.
On one hand, they seem useful. But on the other hand, or perhaps tentacle before long, we know where they're coming from. And what lies at the end of that path. I never expected ceramorphosis to be tempting. I think we should resist these powers. There's simply too many unknowns for us to risk it.
I'm gonna let her... I could try and persuade her to be alright with it, but yeah.
It's been known to happen.
Yeah, the whole worm thing is a little complicated because I don't know how much worm power you can get before you actually turn, or if that's a possibility. I don't know, so I'm only gonna use worms on a couple of my party members. Unfortunately, I already wormed myself, so we'll see how that goes.
Kincha, no good will come of devouring a gate worm, no matter what you might think.
That's kind of funny. I'm taking in worms for power while we're simultaneously looking for a cure. Let's see. Do you know what happens if we don't find a cure? I feel like all of these are pretty self-explanatory. Have you thought about making use of the tadpole's power? She just told me. And we're not using her in combat, so that kind of wraps that up. Let's see how Will's doing.
Gone gods. Watching you consume that tadpole was more disgusting than the tadpole itself. Though, I suppose that's not what you wanted to talk about.
How did you come to be the Blade of Frontiers? We haven't had that conversation yet.
My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after.
But that could be finer than saving a life. You must have felt proud.
Proud? No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade. And so I heeded.
Is that how you lost your eye in the goblin battle?
It was an even bloodier day, and a stronger foe. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
How does it feel to be a devil? That's a $1,000 question.
It's said that anyone who bathes in the river of blood emerges as one born anew. It's a lot like that, I imagine. I feel the weight of these horns on my head, curling upwards like a mammoth's tusks. I feel these ridges snaking down my neck. Not to mention a few bumps and prongs in unmentionable places.
That's uncomfortable.
But I haven't seen my reflection just yet. Be my mirror. What do you see?
Quite the handsome devil. Freak of nature, Blade of Frontiers, and a fiend who's been touched by the hells. Blade of Frontiers, no more, no less. I think he'll appreciate that one. Yes,
It's because you know the heart lurking under the horns. The people will see a curiosity, maybe even a beast hungry for their souls. But I will slay their monsters, keep them safe, And one day they will see the Blade of Frontiers again.
Again, it's kind of like the X-Men, where they're fighting to protect the humans that hate them. Or at least misunderstand them. Let's see, Volo is studying to deal with the worm.
My friend! How do you fare?
Has your research proved anything that might help with this parasite problem?
Not yet, I'm afraid. But my expectations are very, very high.
Okay. I mean, he's only been studying it for like 6 hours. Like, I'd be very impressed if he had anything of use in that time.
How can I help?
Let's see. Why does your condition require magic? That's a good one.
Think of it as tribute. The kind a king might pay to a more powerful neighbor to avoid invasion. As long as I pay, there will be peace. But should I ever stop, along comes a war. I can assure you, the battlefield would extend well beyond the borders of my body alone. An eruption the size of Waterdeep, I think my exact words were.
Well, if you ever feel the Netherese magic taking over, what will you do? That's a good question.
If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls.
Okay. Alright, who are we missing? Where's my assassin? Must have missed his camp. We'll check in with him before we go to sleep. Never mind, apparently I've misplaced my vampire. Wait, where is he? Oh well, there you are. Wait.
Yes?
How does someone become a vampire exactly? That's fair.
It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. Their obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. And a true vampire.
So they bite you, you bite them?
Yes and no. The problem is, once you're a vampire spawn, they completely control you. They have to allow you to bite them. And why would they do that? Vampires are power-hungry creatures. They won't lose a servant to create a competitor. Trust me, it doesn't happen.
Alright. Well, vampires shouldn't be able to walk into homes without an invitation.
We can't. And yet I cross the threshold like moonlight through leaves. This worm is a powerful little beast, isn't it?
Sounds like you're enjoying it.
What's not to enjoy? I can walk in sunlight, trespass upon any home, manipulate minds. I'm the most powerful vampire in the realms. Granted, the looming doom is an issue, but why not enjoy the benefits while we can?
And a carpe diem sort of gentleman, isn't he? Alright, I think once we go to sleep for the night, that should start the festivities. You have enough camp supplies to report. Yeah, we've got plenty of camp supplies. We're good there. There we go. Alright, now we can kick off the aforementioned party.
Hope you're enjoying the night, hero. I certainly am. Cheers to many more like this.
Alright.
You know, I never pictured myself as a hero. Never thought I'd be the one they'd toast for saving so many lives. And now that I'm here, I hate it. This is awful.
Saving lives is awful.
We killed some goblins to save some tieflings. The tally of lives didn't change much. But what do I get for all my hard work? A pat on the head and vinegar for wine.
I know what you want. I'm having fun.
By all means, go and enjoy yourself. I'll be here, waiting for the sunrise.
Let's see, who's next? Let's chat with Carlac.
Would you look at this place? All these people happy because of us. It's nice to be somewhere where good is still possible. And with good potations, too.
Did you have parties like this in Avernus? Oh, jeez.
Not so much. You spend the whole time avoiding swords and schemes. Plus, people just get nastier as the night wears on. I tried to make friends at first. Learned my lesson fast. Better to keep to yourself in hell.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes. I'm celebrating my freedom, and our friendship, and these folks' bright future besides. All I need now is a fire-retardant lover to get lost in till sunrise.
That could be a tall order, given that she is literally on fire. Alrighty. Let's see, doesn't look like we have anything new to say to Shadowheart, but let's see what happens.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits. Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for?
Refugees?
Exactly right. Never gave them much thought. Certainly not that bunch in the grove. Yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd.
Not so odd, we did the right thing. Playing the hero.
That's more easily said by some than others. But nobody's here to debate right from wrong. Share a bottle with me?
I'd be glad to.
We should wait a little while. Until the others have drifted off.
Find you after everyone's turned in for
Best
the night.
not keep me waiting. I'd prefer not to entertain myself.
Okay. Who else we got here?
Look at them all. Guzzling poison like we've the right to be happy.
What? Yeah, I'm a charisma person. Go have fun. It's a party, no one's dead. Go celebrate. Aha!
Perhaps it'll make the evening more tolerable.
Let's see, who's hanging out with Withers? Gwex.
Think of it. No more caves, no more tents, no more running away. We'll be in a city with roads and markets and homes.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I forgot the pet scratch. Very important. We'll see if the owlbear cub ever comes back. Oh, no scratching to be had. Okay, good to know. Golden.
Patience? Have you no respect for showmanship?
Having performance issues, Roland?
Hush you, and behold!
That's pretty. Might as well be polite.
Adoring applause? You're too kind.
Remember when he could barely cast that?
They grow up so fast.
Never have I met such troglodytes. Now, pass the wine.
I'm sure getting drunk will improve your casting ability.
I need to dance! No, I need to lie down.
But Dennis.
Sherry! That's infernal for cheers.
Devils have a word for that?
Possibly turnip.
See what's on Gale's mind.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're welcome.
There's that confidence I like. I thank you for seeking me out. Amid all this merriment, I wasn't sure we'd have a chance to speak this evening. I was hoping you'd spare me a moment. There was something rather magical I wished to show you. More's the pity you've already found someone else to make merry with. Just the two of you. There's something unspeakable about Shadowheart. But I mean that in a good way. She seems to me like a bud on the cusp of bursting into a rose. That, or deadly nightshade. Far be it from me, of course, to question your tastes.
Aha, there you are! Come now, settle in. I do hope you have partaken of something bracing. This may well take us all night.
And by this, you mean, shouldn't we be celebrating?
But I am engaged in celebration of the purest form. Commemoration. If we are to write your legend in the stars, then we must first give you a name. That ballad was but a crude preview, a frame without its crowning jewel. Your nom de guerre. Something iconic, but not too much of a mouthful. We don't want to exclude the common folk, after all. I intend this tale to enrapture all.
Spoken like a true bard. Let's see, we could call it Grove's Keeper, Goblin's Bane. Goblin's Bane is fine.
Not to meddle in your side of this partnership, but slaying goblins is not exactly the stuff of legends, is it? After all, I'm quite certain I once saw one expire from the strain of spelling his own name. No, I'm afraid that won't do. You shall simply have to go out and slay something decidedly more dramatic.
That's why I go out and fight all of these things and risk my life. I'm trying to find a better name. Let's see, I think I already talked to you. Phil talked to Lizelle.
I have seen the Kithraki tear a screaming Neogi's legs from its belly to fashion into blades. Yet, they could not match your nerve today. It was enough to drive me to madness.
Okay, you're subtle.
A pity for us you have promised your knight to the half-elf. I've no doubt you will satisfy your tastes for endless conversation.
Okay, you are a weird chick. Zevlor, what are you up to?
You have no idea how good it feels to see these people smiling. The singing we could probably do without, but even so, thank you.
Alright, I think that wraps up our evening's festivities. Oh, we could go talk to Mole. I skipped her in the grove because she robs you and I like my gold.
You came through for us. That's a change from most adults I know.
Don't be so harsh on your elders.
I'm not. I'm glad they can celebrate before we've even got to the gate. Just like I'll be glad to be rid of them once we're there.
At least the kids got very clear priorities. I'm pretty sure. Oh, we haven't talked to Alfira.
This might be the wine talking, but I'm feeling inspired. Thinking of writing my next song about you. But I need an angle. Any ideas?
Oh, that's cool. They have like racial conversation options since I'm a half elf. Cool.
Absolutely. With a foot in two worlds, you're the force joining both. You're going to love it.
Alright, and last but not least, we've got Halsey.
Go on now. Don't waste a night like this talking to me. We'll discuss your problem tomorrow.
Okay. Take your own advice, why don't you? Go on and mingle a little.
Later, perhaps. Don't worry about me. A night under the stars amidst nature's creation is just what I need after being locked up in the goblin's dungeon. Go on, enjoy yourself. Seek out some wine before it runs dry. There are a lot of thirsty people around here.
Alright, I think that's it for the festivities, with the exception of chatting with Shadowheart. We'll go ahead and auto-select for our camp supplies, and there we go.
Buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk. Though you seek repose, you needn't spend the night alone. There is one who yearns for you in the dark. Who will you seek?
We'll go find Shadowheart.
Your heart skips a beat. What treasures might this night bestow?
You made it. Come here. Sit with me.
Wouldn't dream of missing it. That's charming.
So eager. I'm surprised it took you this long. Well, to begin, I think a toast is in order. Any suggestions?
To survival. We've been through a lot.
Very practical. We could have toasted to that every night so far. Here's to many more. Survival. Now tell me something about yourself. And no tadpoles, dragons, marauding goblins, or anything like that. Something about you.
Persuasion, you first. Tangled into the web of a charisma caster, this is what you get. Or not. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh no. I provided the refreshments. You can supply the entertainment.
Sure, a little memory of growing from Baldur's Gate. It's kind of vague.
Seems like you truly know the city. I never got to explore it to my liking. Don't stop now. Not just as things are getting interesting.
Your turn, I insist. A little give and take is only fair. Shadowheart is one cagey chick.
Don't laugh, but I'm not quite sure I have anything to share. When you worship Shard, secrecy is everything. We'll sacrifice our own memories when ordered to. A lot of the little things, they're lost to me right now.
That sucks. I think your memories will ever come back. That's important.
Perhaps. But please, enough about me. Sharing's bad for my complexion. There's still plenty of wine, and the whole night is ahead of us.
That's a pretty spot.
Nearly light. The others will be awake soon.
Why not try?
What?
Just checking for signs of seromophrosis.
I know. But you're sweet to notice. Thank you for last night.
Hope there'll be more to come. That's optimistic.
Me too.
She trails off. You read an invitation in her eyes.
Yeah, why not? Shadowheart approves. That is a long first date. It'd be kind of funny if you didn't get your spell slots back the next day, because technically you did not take a long rest.
That didn't hurt, did it?
No, far from it.
Good to know. For the future. Let's head back, if we must.
Alright, festivities have wrapped.
I trust you enjoyed your evening. After all your efforts, it was well deserved. It may be some time before you're afforded another such night. There is much to be done, and I promised I would help you however I could.
Yes, fess
I'm
up.
certain a cure for you can be found at Moonrise Towers, but it's complicated. The journey specifically, it's extremely perilous. Though it seems you're well accustomed to navigating danger.
We get a cure and the chance to hit these arseholes where they live. Sounds good.
What's so dangerous about it?
To get to the towers, you'll need to pass through a terrible place. A cursed place. This curse shrouds everything in shadow. You will not find life, light, or anything natural there. Any who linger are twisted by the curse. They become shadow beings, tormented, dangerous souls.
Sounds like I've no choice. I need to find a way through. Well, what do you suggest?
You could go overland, along the Risen Road or through the mountains. Easier at first, but you'll run into the Shadow Curse eventually. You could also go under. There is a tunnel somewhere in the ruined Temple of Selûne. It leads to Moonrise Towers through the Underdark. Long ago, a man called Ketheric Thorm built a secret stronghold deep down there, before rallying a whole army of Dark Justiciars, Shah worshippers. Aradin and his lot were looking for a way down there. They were promised riches if they retrieved a relic called the Night Song. But I think there's more. From this stronghold, Ketheric's forces could access both the Temple of Selûne and Moonrise Towers. But he was defeated before he could launch an attack. If you can find this place, I'll wager it will reveal a more direct path to Moonrise Towers. And maybe even bypass the worst of the Shadow Curse.
Alright, let's see. How do I find this underground route?
You'll need to pick it up where Aradin left off. Find the hidden entrance. It's somewhere in the Temple of Selûne.
Alright. It sounds like the Underdark is the safer route.
Anything is preferable to risking the Shadow Curse. I would like to join your camp, if you'll allow me. I can offer my skills, my counsel. I've long sought to return to Moonrise Towers. It seems our fates have aligned.
Let's go then.
May Sylvanas guide us.
Okay, well there we go. Got ourselves a druid in the party now. Completed our quests. Alright, and with that, we have cleared the first act. In retrospect, I could have taken more long rests and taken more time to develop personal relationships with the characters. So for your own playthrough, I would recommend doing that unless you are just a combat nutcase like me, in which case, go nuts and use smart tactics. I think that pretty much wraps up everything we wanted to shop or buy here. So we are going to wrap up the episode here. Hope you guys had a wonderful time celebrating with us as we close out the first act. This is also, by the way, from here on out, is all stuff that was added after early access that I haven't experienced yet. So I will no longer be benefiting from my unhealthy number of playthroughs of early access, and I'll be going in just as blind as you guys. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Take care.